Rejoice, rejoice one and rejoice all, for the great man Putin has spoken. Putin is great, for he has been taking Russia from one greatness to another over the last 2 decades. The greatness mainly consisting in his being at the helm of affairs, whatever the constitution, the provisions, the parliament of Russia may have said. And he did make everybody feel that Russia is really great in safeguarding the great Russian nation from the mortal threat of a much smaller Ukraine. And that makes Putin very great. And with Putin being great, Russia by default has become great. And now the great Putin has spoken of another great man, the President of United States of America, Donald Trump. It is a moot point whether Donald Trump is greater or a bit less great than Putin himself. But there is no doubt in the thing that a great man has spoken of the greatness of another great man and told the world that Trump would also have been great like Putin had not the last election been stolen from him. In a way, we have it now from the horse's mouth that the election of 2020 in United States of America was stolen from Donald Trump and prevented, in retrospect, American states and American nation from being great like Russia. So when the great man speaks of another great man, it is something for the world to rejoice and hope that this whole world, this universe of ours, is rapidly progressing towards greatness, towards being golden, towards being on the brink of attaining the prime objectives, yes, pristine objectives of every nation to be great beyond everything and beyond the reach of everybody else. So the world has great hope, much to look ahead for in that now with progression of greats like Putin and Trump and many others too, who are getting rid of this pointless concern for the rules of the game, for the letters of the law, for the futile exercises called independence of institutions, the accountability of the great men who come to hold the realm of different nations. And so they will be working untrammeled to make their respective nations great, greater, and the greatest, as Trump often puts it with matching gestures of head and hand and working incessantly, working tirelessly, working without any compunction for truth, for the stray people who still cling to outmoded ideas of equality, freedom, fraternity, the laws, the rules, the conventions, the institutions, and they eke out their paths to greatness, taking their nations along. And here we have got a very sparkling example from Russia of great man Putin, who has successfully made all Russians believe that there was a mortal threat in Ukraine, that they had been attacked, that Zelensky was attempting to bring back Nazism and subdue everybody in Russia, make them slaves. And the greatness, part of the greatness, in fact, lies in the Russian people too, in believing their great leader, and thereby they too have become great. In this race for greatness, there is great scope for world. World may not know it, people may not know it. The intellectuals who needlessly, rather undeservingly, pride themselves on their insights of future need to understand, they need to acknowledge, they need to know that these great men are freeing them from the trammels of care, concern, equality, betterment, and of course, openness, which are found. Yes, it has been found by these great men that these conventions, these institutions, the so-called principles are pointless, because in the march of humanity, everything must be trashed, it must be trampled underfoot. And the nations, the peoples, the respective great men living in different countries must not be hindered in their marches towards greatness. And in that process, it is irrelevant that they do not tell what others take to be the truth, because they are the prophets, they are the apostles themselves, and their word is truth. Whatever else, whatever the detractors may say, whatever anybody else may think, that actually is not going to matter at all in this march for greatness. So we must congratulate people of Russia, people of America, people in other places too, that the keys for greatness, the key for shattering the restraining shackles of equality, care for the poor, respect for the law, obligations to constitutional nuances, all have been gotten rid of, and this globe of ours is now on a trajectory, on a great flight, like a rocket fueled by these great men towards a sure annihilation into the greatness of beyond where nothing exists. So Cheer for these great men. Cheer for Putin. Cheer for Trump. Cheer for others that they have begun the process to liberate this globe from the worn concerns for liberty, equality, fraternity at all. And of course, they have also shattered the restraints that had held the great businessmen in bounds from using their respective nations for their personal glory, for their grand aggrandizement, from progressing, from becoming great, and from representing the whole nations upon this earth. Somebody may call them oligarchs, somebody may call them dictators, somebody may call them throwbacks to the past. But the glory lies in past. Golden ages were all in past. Greatnesses have all been in the past. And we must march to the past to reclaim our respective greatness, to reclaim our respective glories, and to usher in our peoples, our nations, the respective lands where these great men are striding into the golden ages that were in the past. So welcome this greatness, this great leap, this grand foray into the past. Welcome it all. Welcome Putin. Welcome Trump. And welcome all others who trudge their paths to sure decimation.